Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and I am here for Ashita no Joe episode 24. And I finally got to say the line, let's go. I'm gonna angle to try to watch 2 episodes of Joe today, make up a little bit for the missed week, and hopefully they'll be really fun episodes. If we get stuck in really deep discussion in the first episode, we'll just play it by ear and go with the flow, and maybe we won't end up watching 2, but my angle is to try to watch 24 and 25 today. Joe has left the prison. We are out of that terrible situation and the arc that it established, and we are going to return to Shantytown, which I believe is the title of the episode. I feel like that embedded itself in my memory somewhere, and go from there. We followed Rikishi a little bit as he begun his climb up the professional boxing world, a world which Joe has yet to enter, so I very much expect that that is what we will be focused on. And I gotta wonder what Danpei has planned for that. There's some fiddly, interesting stuff around Danpei's history in professional boxing, and some rather insidious comments by Rikishi about how he's not really wanted in that world. So we'll have to see if there are more challenges than just being an idiot kid who nobody knows as a boxer to getting Joe up into the ring, and whether those challenges come from his company, the company that he keeps. I'm curious about a couple of other things too. One, has Joe materially changed? We've been with him the whole time, and it feels as though some things have changed for Joe, but in many ways he's still the same shitty shithead who's a shithead, and that hasn't changed that much. But I'm curious if we take him out of this context where most of the prison is essentially against him and he's surrounded by mostly enemies and forced to be alone, whether he's changed at all. And I would be curious to see if we get that in the form of new or different reflections from other people. I've mentioned a couple of times, both in this show and in shows across the channel, that a huge part of human identity is created by mirroring, by reflection, by the way that other people respond to the way that you act. Will Joe experience a different set of mirrors out here in Shantytown in the world than he did in the prison? Almost certainly. Will there be a significant difference in the way that that forges Joe's identity moving forward? I don't know. The only people, broad scale, that Joe has that kind of identity reflection from, I think in order of appearance, we can go bad guys who want to fight him, and police, and generally the state and everybody in power. That's sort of our first one. And they view him as outcast. That's our first couple of episodes. We've got the kids who love Joe. They think he's pretty cool and they follow him almost sycophantically. But they also recognize when he's being a shithead sometimes, although they don't do a great job of reflecting that in a way that sinks in for Joe, but that might change as we move on with the characters, especially as he's come out of this prison experience and goes back into the Shantytown experience where it's sort of their home base. And then there's Danpei, who shows up and gives a totally novel mirror to Joe, right? Joe has been you're a shithead, outcast from our society, not wanted here, be gone with you. And then the kids kind of follow him, which gives some support, something like that, but it's a little strange. It's a little, the power is imbalanced for sure. And then you get Danpei, who has skill and knowledge. He knows things, right? He's seen more of the world, and when he sees Joe, what he reflects is, you're the chosen one, bro. You're the guy. I want to make you great. You can be, right? You have the potential. Totally novel, totally different. Then we get to the prison. We reflect off of Shiraki Yoko. She does not like Joe either, so Joe is outcast not just by people in power, not just by wealthy people, but by the only woman who's anywhere near his age that we've seen in the show. So he's rejected by the feminine, he's rejected by the order and the authority and the organization. He's rejected by everybody except the outcasts, and Danpei is one of those, but he's a special outcast. He's a little different. He's a leader. I don't know. He's a guide. He's a mentor. He's all of those things. Then we get to the prison, and the prisoners do not like Joe. He bounces right off of them, with the exception of Nishi, who treats him well, but I feel bad about the whole Nishi situation. Rikishi views him first with a little bit of disdain and then as a potential genuine rival. And that's like mostly, the prison guards don't like him. He's a troublemaker. So almost everybody, like 8 out of 11 people that Joe interacts with are like, get the fuck away from me. You're a reject. Don't like you. Be gone. Will that have changed? Will he be able to experience anything different? Any other kind of slice of reality, of human interaction and experience? Has prison actually rehabilitated the boy? My guess is no, for the most part. It has made him wary of being thrown into prison, like the fear of punishment is now very much real in a way that it might not have been before, but has it really rehabilitated him, improved his chances at the world? Only through Danpei's effort, only through the boxing. So, Joe, who entered the prison, and Joe, who exits the prison, they seem to me, under the surface, to be different people. Like, there's a strong difference between the Joe that we have now and the Joe that we had then. But if you asked me to put my finger on exactly what it is, I might struggle. There are bits and pieces. There's this chance at motivation. There's this vengeance a little bit, this desire to prove yourself and prove that what everybody else thinks about you is wrong, and that sort of awakens in Joe. And there's, for the first time, although it happened a number of episodes ago, there's a feeling like there might be a path forward for him. There's a sense that there's something to do besides just sort of ramming his body against the walls of the invisible cage that he's in this society. Maybe he can find a door out of the cage and out into the wild and to be a healthy creature and live something like a life, at least for a time. I don't know. That's mostly where my curiosity is landing. I would be totally fine if we don't address any of that and we just focus on Joe getting ready for a first match and maybe even going into a first match against some guy who is probably not anywhere near as prepared as he is to become a pro boxer. But maybe it'll be the opposite. Maybe Joe's going to find out that he is in a big fucking pond, and he wasn't the biggest fish around to begin with. We already saw Rikishi struggle with his first fight. It was not like an easy wash, so it'll be curious to see whether Joe one-ups him on that front and enters as like a prime rookie, or if he has to slug, beat, and batter and get back up off the mat a bunch of times to make his way into pro boxing. Or if he bounces off of it and fucking fails. That would be interesting, too. Really curious, really curious. We've got a big transition. It feels like an end of an arc, and there's an open road in front of us. Where does it lead? We'll have to take our steps with Joe and find out. Okay, I'm going to turn my attention to a drawing, pull the camera down, speed things up, and be back in just a sec to watch the next episode of Joe. Okay, that was fun. I just kind of wanted to draw like a dilapidated bunch of shacks on top of each other. It's kind of a staple of manga, is sort of bunch of buildings all smashed, smash, whether it's something more supernatural, like we get in kind of Dan in places where like a city has fallen apart, or you set up a bunch of stuff so that you can explode it, and all the debris from all of these objects goes everywhere. Or it's just the location setting. It's probably a good idea to be able to draw like a bunch of haphazard buildings on top of each other and create that kind of chaos. And I kind of like it. It's kind of cute. It's kind of got a weird sort of cutesy aesthetic that I kind of find neat. And I put Joe up at the top of it. We'll see if that's where he ends up at the end of this. We pop this up. All right, let's get into Joe episode 24 and see if the Boxing King of Shantytown's comeback is all that we could hope it would be. I don't know. Maybe it'll suck. I've got episode 24 of Ashita no Joe up and ready to go. There'll be 2 versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, early access on the Patreon. Beep beep timer to count you down. Let's go for some Joe. Ando baguni Kieru mi Anchiksho no Ka Omega ke Tatake 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 Dakedo Ru-ru-ru-ru. Ru-ru-ru-ru-ru-ru-ru-ru. I don't know, dude. Up to you to decide. Oh? Oh, it's a sandal. Took me a minute. This is very wistful, very something. But here we have this song echoing without Joe's presence, the whistling. Okay. Oh! Oh! Oh, whoa! He's known. But as somebody to fear, or... Smells like shit! Hey! We got shit to do, man. Oh! Stasi da! Holy crap-a-moly! Today. Yeah, this is not what I expected, but look at this. Look at this reflection. Look at this community. Yeah, we're the homies. We got shit to do. We got shit to do. Is it a gym or something like it? Training space? Oh, the policia! Oh? Oh, I'm so glad you're reformed. A new man. Come on. Over the bridge to the place. Sandabago? Sandobagu? Oh, wow. It's got to say something boxing gym. Curse you, kanji! Okay. Tange Kento Club. We got a fucking boxing gym. We got a sign. We got a door. He knows their names. Oh, holy shit. That's almost the leap in, like, above the water? This is wild. This is wild. This is a... Holy shit, he grew up a little bit. Holy shit, he knows their names. We know you, Sachi. Let's fucking go. Yeah, man. And you're the squad picking him up. Yeah, man. But they've been supporting you through, all the way through. Yeah. Yeah, will you pick me up? I don't know if you will. Yeah, you're a little big kid. Brutal. Aw, poor buddy. Danpei's watching. Come on, man. He's got a big smile, though. Fuck, man. It's what you need. It's run down, but it's what you need. It's everything. Oh, we got chest expanders. Yeah. Wait, what? Let's freaking go! Let's freaking go! There were 3, though. Tell me it's not Aoyama. Dude, Mammoth Nishi is a badass name. Mammoth! Mammoth! Hell yeah, it did, Nishi! Of course. Of course. Joe, you gotta treat Nishi fucking better. You gotta treat this boy fucking better. He's got a job. Oh my god. It is a big deal. Yeah, everybody's putting in their part. Good job, Sachi. That's a baseball. This fucking scrap gym is so sweet. Oh. Okay. For sure. You pull the thing and water comes out, he's gonna get split. He's gonna spray the fuck out of him. Is it just a bucket? Is it just a bucket? Oh, that's so cute. Oh? We've got a newcomer? Whoa! No sound. The power of kids. Shiraki? It has to be, right? What is that? Oh shit. Did Rikishi send it? Alright, okay. Who is the enemy? Yeah, let's see the note. This is a challenge. Tell me it's Rikishi. To the Tange Boxing Club. Wannabes? Damn. It doesn't sound like Rikishi. Who would dare? Holy shit, that's so badass though to send somebody funereal flowers. You know, just in case. Fucking Rikishi! It didn't seem like him, but holy shit. We're gonna do a flip-flop and Rikishi's gonna become a real villain, huh? Tell me it's another fucking crazy... Okay. No, take the call, man. Hey, bro, you get my flowers? Can I punch him through the phone? We get his theme song too? You son of a bitch. He's gonna tear the fucking cord out of the telephone. Ah, Joe. That's the same line that... Cooling it? Trying to cool his hot head? Are you kidding? But that's true. This is the hurdle. Yeah, you're not there yet. So, okay. Rikishi is goading Joe. That's what this is. Brilliant. Okay. So it is very... It's malicious, but there's a goal in mind. He's trying to manipulate Joe into coming after him, into being stronger. Hello? Don't worry, I had something important to do. Oh, so sorry. Nothing. Yeah, go to that phone and redial. Whatever it is, star 86, star whatever. 68? Okay. Don't do it. You gotta get into the JBC. Make it legit. If he's got you pissed, then make your way to fighting him for real. Oh shit! Nishi's standing up for himself. This episode is a banger. Fair. Whoa, though, he flattened him out. The mammoth, man. He's angry. He's angry. Well, That guy, he is crying to try to help you. He's like desperately holding on to you, man. Become a boxer. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck, man. Oh, that hit's getting to him, yeah. Of course not. No, dude, you got a long way to go. So he actually backs down. That's a big change. He listens. It took a lot. Joe's a stubborn bastard, but he listened to Nishi. It's a step. The people? All the people from the first scene? Oh my god. Oh my god, he's a hometown hero. Oh, okay, okay. I was like, who threw fucking cans? There are many cans in this world, but this one is mine. We're partying into the night. Oh, hello, police officer man. You should come join, dude. Come check out the party. Make sure everything's above board. Oh. These characters are silly. It's as though they tried to make every one of them as distinct and interesting as possible. Is he drinking again? He's not. Oh, he is. Uh-oh. I don't love that. Yeah. First taste after a long time. I don't love that. Oh, boy. Oh, kid. Okay, Tonga is getting tipsy-ipsy. Oh, shit. It's his party, but he's just sitting there. Kind of behind bars, huh? What are you feeling, Joe? No, he's leaving. Tompei's not sober enough to, like... Okay, interesting setup. The bridge. What a different world to come back to. Oh, there he is, okay. A little bit drunk, gonna say some stuff. Do they now? And come over the bridge just like he did. Supposed to be. Nantanaku. Toward tomorrow and upward. There will be suffering. Ah, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Wow. Beautiful. We. The Bridge of Tears, man. It's gonna take tears to cross it. That's an attitude that you can use to face almost anything, though. It's good to see him laughing and dancing. I don't like that he's drinking, but I'm glad that he's sort of free. Joe's actually genuinely laughing too for the first time in a long time. One more quiet scene. Officer. Yeah. That's so cute. The little accents with the police officer break up the flow of everything. This might be my favorite structure for a Joe episode, period. And I think it's easily the best episode that we've had in the last almost a dozen. I mean, there's so many different types of episodes that we've had, but this is special. It's a team. Oh my. We've never seen that kind of vulnerability from Joe. Something has caused Joe such great turmoil here. He's not used to this feeling. I'm not sure what it is exactly. Holy absolute shit, that was a banger of an episode. Gerilla? Ashita! Okay, there goes episode 24 of Joe, and I might have to lean on that thing I said at the beginning, where if we get too stuck into a discussion, we might just do one. I did not expect this episode to be so densely packed with such important things. This is a dramatic shift in Joe's environment. We expected that. Shantytown, Slum-Town is very different, but it's very different from the first time he was here too, and in a whole bunch of ways. This episode is really sweet. It leans heavily on human interaction, and it demonstrates Joe's change in a number of ways. But the most obvious and important thing is not Joe's change, but the change in the world's attitude toward Joe. It's the reflections, right? The picture that we have of Joe is not that dissimilar from the person that we've known until the end of the episode, and then it breaks down quite a bit, and we see a very different person underneath, someone under the mask. But it's not him that's changed so much as it is the world that he inhabits treating him differently, dramatically differently. It's really cleverly put together too. There's the scene of the waterfront as they're looking over the river, the reveal of the new gym and the step-by-step understanding of it, Rikishi's phone call and the flower delivery, the cop coming by a couple of times, the interactions with the townspeople, all sorts of really interesting surprises, many of which I think I want to let bloom and I want to expand upon and really, really look at them, really investigate them. Um, it's full of sort of classic Joe things, like there are shots that get reused a couple of times and stuff, but it's also full of like references to previous episodes and scenes that are set up the same but play out differently, which demonstrates change and shift and improvement and becoming. It's really interesting. The first thing that I want to do here is I want to see if I've still got a copy of episode 1 floating around somewhere and pull it up. And if I don't, then I'll start downloading it so that I have it for a little bit later. Okay, I don't have a copy of it, so let's go to the beginning of this episode and look at that. And while we're doing that, it will I'll acquire a copy and we'll compare them as we go in. Do we open immediately with the whistle? We do. Okay. So we open with the whistle and then these very like slow tone setting scenes of this sandal drifting that I thought was going to tie into something directly, but doesn't seem to. If it has a direct meaning or even a metaphorical one, it escapes me. My first thought was like a raft alone floating on the current or something like that, but I don't know. It almost feels like it escapes, it's out there into the open wide world. And I really like the pastel water hues and the subtle movement of them. It's really beautiful, along with this echoey whistle. It's different in its tone. There's a bunch of reverb applied to it, and it's sort of pulled back away from the ear. As though Joe isn't there whistling, but you're hearing him whistling from a hallway, a corridor, many alleys away, and it's just resounding through the town. It's a really interesting feeling that gives. And feeling is a huge portion of this episode. It feels like this episode is much more focused on how things feel, their sort of texture and vibe and tone than a lot of previous episodes of Joe. And I think that comes through in the drawings of characters as well. They feel very crisp in a way that a lot of the prison episodes kind of missed, kind of were a little bit more fiddly, a little bit more sketchy, if that makes sense. These feel a little bit more crisp, a little bit better defined, the characters and their faces and their facial expressions, which makes me feel like there's been a little bit more effort put into this episode. It's not like Sakuga filled with lots of action and stuff, but there are lots of dynamic scenes and maybe more importantly, lots of really character-filled scenes with a lot of texture and tone to them, whether that's in the character faces or in their surroundings. It's interesting. It's interesting. Not to mention the huge swaths of very strange individual characters that we get introduced to. The people of this town are some of the weirdest people on the planet, and that's pretty cool. Okay, let me check the download on the other episode. Okay, I have episode 1. I'm going to pull it up now. So here's episode 1 of Joe, and our very first introduction to the show is... Wind blows, Joe walks away from the city. And we get the whistle, but it's clear as though we're in the same scene as him, which we are, right? It sounds much clearer to me. Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. So he wanders through this space. He crosses over the bridge that we now have a name for. We don't see his face when he does, but he shudders in the wind and pulls his jacket in close around him and enters Shantytown. So then we pull away from the bridge. It's all about the bridge. It's like, you've taken this bridge to nowhere. You can't go back. The city and the lights are back behind you. Oh, which adds a layer because that's where we place Rikishi, right? When we met him, when he was, doing stuff in the previous episode, or after he got out, he's in these like city lights looking over the landscape. He's in that space. Whereas Joe is now, like the drawing that I did earlier, sort of what I call him, the boxing king of Slum City or something like that. It's like, yeah, that tracks. And Rikishi is part of the city. Yeah. He's on that other side of the bridge. That's really what this episode is about. And what like Rikishi's taunt is about too, is like, come on, come over to the other side of the bridge and fight me, Joe. And Joe's like, I'm coming. I'm coming. And then it's like, no. There's a path. There's a path, because the bridge isn't just a bridge. The bridge is a metaphor. And so if you cross back over the bridge without having completed the things that fulfill the metaphorical bridge, you haven't actually crossed over the bridge. You're just running back to fight Rikishi and Shiraki, and we're back to the exact same cycle of being reactive, right? Like being angry, being immediately responding to goads and threats and whatever. Not changed. We have to put in the tears in order to be able to cross this bridge with laughter. We're going to get to all of that stuff because it is an incredible set of lines. And we're going to talk about it in part in the context of some stuff that we've talked about in the last couple of episodes of shows that I've watched. Yesterday in Orb, we focused really hard on what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up? And what suffering is your best suffering? What suffering are you willing to experience in order to reach your goals? And choosing the right suffering, choosing the right sacrifice is, I think, a much more effective way of plotting out a course in life than choosing goals, than choosing the things that you want, desires, right? Because desires come with sufferings attached. So if you're focused on the desires and you ignore the sufferings, you might pick a desire that you're not actually willing to suffer for. But if you focus on thinking about the pain, thinking about the struggle, thinking about the difficulties inherent in everything, because everything has an opportunity cost, and everything that you do or commit yourself to or go for has a trade-off, that it's the trade-off of being alone versus having to deal with people. The trade-off of pursuing your goals versus the struggle and pain that comes with that versus the struggle and pain of never attempting to fulfill your potential and knowing that. It's your choice in all of those things, but if you make those choices sort of without recognizing the trade-offs involved, without not recognizing the suffering involved, you might end up with a balance sheet that's very imbalanced in terms of your suffering, joy, experience of life trade-off situation. But if you're already doing the math on the suffering side and you just choose the sufferings that you're willing to suffer, you open the door to all of the possible good things that those sufferings could lead to. And they'll be even more good and you'll suffer less because you chose the sufferings. It's pretty great. We'll get to that. Oh, we're still in episode 1. Let me pull back to episode 24. Okay. Return to Slum-Town. Some lovely scenes of the town. Yeah, it's far, far away. Far, far away. Life goes on. I really like this scene with the laundry blowing and the dog looking around and people sweeping. Little outdoor charcoal grill. then this is an absolute shock to me. This is an absolute shock. Joe is no hometown hero, right? But things have changed in his absence. The way people see him has changed. Do you hear that whistling? It's Joe! That's the response that we get. That's our first mirror. It's Joe, and everybody pops their heads. The hero returns. Joe? Joe? It's Joe. He's over here. Whoa. Heh. Smelly, filthy, welcome to this place, and he's following after Donpei. Come on, man. Come on. We got places to go. And partly Donpei's pressure is that there's all this stuff that he's really proud of that he wants to show him, and the kids are really excited too. It feels in the beginning like Donpei's being kind of a stick in the mud, kind of being like, all right, stop with the partying, bro. But that's not at all what's going on. But the fact that the village people, YMCA, the fact that the people of the village are welcoming, it's very different from the way that they've acted in the past, not just toward Joe, but in general. It's as though his presence has united them, as though he's a little bit special. People from here don't emerge as special, right? Like, people from here don't do cool things. Maybe it's that. Whatever it is, Joe ends up surrounded by welcoming, smiling faces. Possibly for the first time in his life. What a difference. What a difference that makes compared to being surrounded by people looking at you being like, you piece of shit. This fucking guy. Do no wells, like, what's the word? Ne'er-do-well. What does that do to your identity when people treat you like that versus treating you like this? Oh, I'm a part of things. I'm welcome here. I'm accepted. I can exist. I don't have to prove something, right? And I don't have to act out in order to prove these people right either. I don't have to do that. In fact, there's pressure to conform. There's pressure to be a part of things. There's pressure to live up to the smiling faces of the people who look at you with joy and praise you and like you. How different. How different. Gangso, you look well. Hey, when'd you come back? Yo, you're so big, you're so mature. It's like, what? Oh, underfed. And suddenly it's like a community. It's almost like family around him. Yeah? They care about him. It's weird. It's weird. I would have expected Joe to like maybe be overwhelmed and run from this, but we have Donpei to interrupt and pull him away. It's interesting. He sort of soaks it in for a moment. We don't really get to feel how it reflects on him. We get a little bit of that during the party. He doesn't seem very comfortable with it. He's unsure. And he's looking for the kids. He wants to go say hi to them. They're important to him. This is so fascinating. All right, leave the small talk. I got shit to show you. Come on. Hey, policeman officer. So is Joe taking the piss here? Is he being a little bit ironic in the way that he says this? Is there some sarcasm to it? It's unclear. He might be 100% wholehearted. Thank you for helping me out back then. Yeah, I'm glad I turned you around. And he's like, just thank your officer friends for knocking my senses into me. And the guy goes, whoa, his eyes bulge out of his head. Like, that's Joe? What the hell? What a weird, that's not what Joe says. First shot of the bridge. Core shot of the bridge in the episode sets it all up. Fuck, man. So that's where we've set up shop. That's where our training ground is right under the Bridge of Tears. How cool is that? How cool is that? Like, here's this mythologically important space that has particular meaning, and we're going to build ourselves right underneath it so that we can cross back over it in a different way. We're going to run it back, reverse the trail. That's clever writing, and when we look back at episode 1, it feels like it has been really well established from the beginning, just because of those long drawn out scenes focusing on the bridge and the crossing over of the bridge, and with some time with hindsight, it feels like crossing over a barrier or through a veil or across a threshold. It's not the same here as it is there, and getting back is a challenge. It's like climbing up and out. That's good enough. Take a look under the bridge, huh? Big sign. I mean, it's still ramshackle, but it's like cleaned up and we get this light on it, so it's not like in the darkness in the corner the way we've seen it before. It's a fucking boxing gym. Right there by the riverside, right there on the hill. Tongay Boxing Club. So that you and I can punch our way back into Japan's boxing world. Joe! And he names each of them by name. There's value to connections. You can learn that once they've been taken away from you, yeah? He's finally back! He's totally blown over. This jump, it's really similar to the jump off the rock, in the sort of beach sequence. That was an emergence into a new form of Joe, into a new way of seeing himself, and this feels like another one. Welcome back! Yay! We flip everything upside down and do this slow-mo run and hug scene. That's cool. It feels like a Dazaki-ism, yeah? Some of them have grown up a whole bunch. Some of them look mostly the same. Welcome back, my lord. Ha 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 ha. You sure have grown a lot, and he's really seeing them, yeah? Picks each of them up, except for the biggest. Calls them each by name. Like, does a little playful joke with them. He's treating them like people. And like children. Not like minions. So I think at this point, I want to note something that's a little bit strange about this. A number of the changes, the way that the whole town responds to Joe very differently, the way that he has changed in his attitude toward the children and stuff, I like them. They feel good, right? Feel great. Love that. They don't entirely feel earned. Like, Joe didn't really chart a course of dramatically changing his personality over his time in prison. So for him to, like, still be fucking with Nishi the day before Nishi leaves, kind of, and kind of still being a shithead, and then we pretty in short order flip-flop over to here, where he's a lot more respectful of people and people like him, it doesn't feel 100,000% earned. It feels like 97% earned. It's most of the way there. And I'm not trying to like complain large scale or anything like that. It's not like a big complaint. It is just a little bit of like authorial fiat to be like, okay, and Joe is different now. Yeah. There are some elements of this episode where I think he earns it a little more. The interaction with Nishi strikes me as one of those. But there's a little bit of a rapid switch in everyone's perspective on Joe, as though we've flicked the lights and suddenly everything that's dark is in the light. And it's like, hey, everybody loves Joe now. But I don't mind. I don't mind. So he opens the door. Come on, man. It's amazing. Okay, I want to mention this about this scene. This scene on the inside and all the sketchy lines and hairs and stuff on Danfei's hand. It's not like it's crazy detailed or anything, but it feels very real to me. And it's opening the door to a space that we don't see, letting Joe in. And then we hold this frame of him standing, smiling in front of the door, and we zoom slowly into it. Somehow this reads, although Danfei doesn't actually say it, as like, welcome, welcome, come in, come in. Welcome to your new home. Welcome to your new place. It feels really amazing. It's your gym. And Joe doesn't shit on the sewing jobs or anything like that. He's genuinely impressed. Wow, it's even got a ring. And look, and look. Okay, there are 3 here. I'm gonna do something. Oh man, there are 3. I can't see anything but the edge of those. I think if I like could read Japanese really well, I would be able to infer what those say. I wonder if it's Aoyama. How fucking cool would that be? That would be really cool, man. I think that would be really cool, man. But we only revealed 2, right? Yeah, we only revealed 2, and the third one is withheld from us. But they are Manmosu Nishi and Yabuki Joe. Mammoth? What a good name for Nishi, man. Mammoth! All the kids love him, of course, because he's an enormous teddy bear. Joe. You're also gonna be a pro? Hell yeah. Yeah. I got struck by the bug. You gave it to me. You coughed in my face, man. And there's a sense that Nishi's going to be a sort of a background secondary character that'll be here mostly to root for Joe, right? Like that's his sort of place in this. I'm reminded a little bit of the 2 characters in Hajime no Ippo who are like they're pro boxers and they start out better than Ippo, just because they've been in it for longer, but he rather quickly surpasses them and they end up cheering him on for most matches. But then we do a couple of storylines later in Ippo where we like really focus in on them, and those end up being really great storylines to focus in on a boxer who isn't as much like destined for championship and like on the primo, but is more of a get in the ring and slug it out and get some work in and do your best kind of boxer, you know, struggling through the ranks. Because for every boxer that goes 6-0, there are a dozen that go 3-3, right? And like they got to fight too. They got lives, they got dreams, they got goals, they want to improve. I feel like Nishi's going to hit that zone where he's not like destined for greatness and he knows it, but he loves boxing and he loves Joe, and so he's here for both of those. The fact that he's working and using that money to outfit the gym is kind of fucking crazy. It shows how much love he has for this, and it's a really unfortunate situation because Joe mostly treats Nishi really badly, and it's almost like Stockholm syndrome. Nishi's attachment to Joe is kind of busted, it's kind of abusive. It's not great, but I really respect Nishi. I really like his general attitude, and he is a voice of something like reason, who we demonstrate just because of his sheer size, even if he's not as skilled, has the ability to sock it to Joe sometimes and kind of like put him on his ass and hit him with a good body blow and like set him straight when he's running off to do something stupid and get in trouble again. It's a role that Nishi took a bunch of times in the prison, and I hope it's one that he keeps doing. Like he seems like he's going to be a really good influence on this situation. My main reason for taking up boxing is you, Joe. Joe has done a lot of bad shit, a lot of mediocre shit. He's been unkind to a bunch of people. If Joe continues to be unkind to Nishi, I'm not going to be able to forgive that. The way that this story is set up, I need Joe to improve in the way that he treats his friends. And I think we're getting there, but I really need that. It's because of you. I won't have to say goodbye to you. Full-fledged clerk using all his earnings to get equipment. Don't say like it's such a big deal. But hey, you know, the chief works all day as a laborer. Yeah, they're both working like this. This little sideline, adults can't have a real conversation with Joe. That's why he needs us kids to make things easier. Feels a little bit too on the nose. That's cutting deep into the writing there. It seems right, though. Everybody comes up and is trying to show him what they've been up to and what they've contributed during their time. Got mitts to punch, got a bag that they made. Hope he made it double layered or something. Yes, let me show you something nice. Here's the shower. It's a bucket. Goddamn Sachi. It's cute. But Joe doesn't get, like, enraged, chase after the kids to punch them or anything like that, right? He might have in a different time. He gets sort of this silly hair droop down, like, well, I should have seen this coming. Sorry, Joe. I straight up thought this guy was trying to join the boxing club. I thought that's where this was going to go. I mean, it's popular in the town. People know about it, know that Joe is returned. It's like, send your children to the boxing club. That would be cool. Where do you think you're looking? It's right here. Oh, I brought flowers. Holy shit. Holy shit, man. I don't even. This is like, that's a diss. This is diss track level stuff. This is crazy. Sick joke. Show me the note. Wannabes. But it's clever too. It's not just being a total dickhead. It is being a total dickhead, but it's not just. It's clever. Rikishi knows Joe. He knows what gets his goat, what gets him going. And he knows that when he challenged Tange, it really incited some fire in Joe. When he called them like nobodies, you'll never make it, all that shit, that gets Joe going. So this is a sniper shot. This is a guided missile to Joe's ego, Joe's heart, Joe's friends and connections, Joe's potential, all of it. And it's very precisely placed to like change Joe's course and force him directly at Rikishi, which is where he was going anyway. But Rikishi's impatient. He's like, come on, let's do it. Let's do it. They ruined our excitement. Who would dare? Would dare? Well, one man would dare. Rikishi Toru. Rikishi? Oh no. Denwa. Oh, some guy named Rikishi. Time to take the call. He's like yanking at the cable. Hey, he says the same line you did your long sentence commendably. Hey, what's the big idea, man? I'm just cooling that hot head. So I think the cooling your head is reminding you that you're not even in the same league as me. So don't get too fired up yet, buddy. But in the same sense, he's like firing him up. He's getting him angry about that. It's clever. It's dickish. It's very dickish from Rikishi, and it's quite a flip-flop. Throughout this episode, Joe is, except for like the fight that he has with Nishi, Joe's practically angelic compared to the way that he usually is. Rikishi Toru, first in what he said at the end when he was leaving, and now here, Rikishi Toru's like headed in that villain direction. He's really making himself, he's got everything. He's been handed everything on a silver platter by the family, by these people who are rich and into boxing and see him as the guy. So it's like, it's easy for him compared to Joe. He's got it all. He's a fucking trust fund kid, basically. And, man, he is on his way to being unlikable, which is really interesting because he's a very strong character and he's very cool. He's very badass, but he's being a fucking dick. It's an interesting flip. The wannabes, do you get it? It means you're just a pretend club. You're not officially recognized. And this is a needle, it's a goad, it's a stab at the ego, but it's also really clearly laying out the path forward. Oh, we're not recognized by the JBC? That's what we've got to do. Become a legitimate boxing club so that we can legitimately compete. Because otherwise, pros like me aren't allowed to play around with you. You jackass! Come here! Yes, well, no, I am quite busy these days. I'll come to you! And Shiraki's here. You mustn't take off practice. What are you doing anyway? Oh, yes. My apologies. I just had to say something. No big deal. I'll start practicing again. It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal to this kid. Isn't it obvious? Yoko's house. Stop it, Nishi. I'm not trying to stop you. This won't do it. I get what you want. I hear you. This won't get you to it. He's right. He's right, but Joe can't hear him. Joe's locked into fight mode. Which means he's got to fight. That's why Nishi needs to be there. He's got me pissed as hell. Yeah. He hardens there. Begins to turn, huh? Wham! I really want to see the second punch, because the way it knocks Joe into this pillar and he sort of flattens for a second is really cool. I want to see the actual frames of it and see the like animation squash stretch. It's a shock. Nishi has hands, you know? This isn't prison. This is actual society. And he's been living in it for a little while, right? He's had to adapt, had to reacclimate. You, the jail boss, a goody goody, and he gets up with this, like, all right, ready to fight kind of attitude and gets slugged. The fucking goobles go out of his eyes. His whole face gets warped into putty. And then he gets flung back against the post. Pump, foop, and then a slide. Wow, okay, it's much simpler than I thought. I actually thought there was like a frame where Joe flattens out like a pancake, where we really squash him and then he reemerges. But it's just the way that he turns felt a little bit odd. Little shock. Whoa, you got some punches. Yeah, nothing yet. He lays into him. It's a cool scene. Now you're getting full of yourself, and he's not. He's not. He's got him. Oh. We end up tumbling down the mountain, crying. This is how much this means to Nishi, man. And this is the part where it's like, I can't have Joe keep treating Nishi badly. He has to hear him. Aho. I know what you want. Go fight him properly in the ring. Shut up, you and your big, ugly face. Get off. Joe, you don't get it. This outside world is harsh. What are you talking about, man? You're so different from the way that you were. What are you talking about? But he's been rocked by the blows, and so he ends up listening. I punch like that because of you. Don't you realize Rikishi's been training? Yeah, he knows. So he turns, brushes his shoulders off. Wakata, like, I get it. Okay. And this way that he turns, and for the first time in the scene, he sees Nishi. He's still in that sort of, let's not make a big deal out of it. Okay, but he, like, sees him. He realizes that he's crying. It's not as though he's, like, compassionate and warm. It's not exactly how Joe is. He's not like, okay, buddy, it's okay. He's still cold and kind of distant, but he sees him and he sits with him. We just spend the time to let the camera linger, because we don't need to say anything after this. We've said the piece. Now it just needs to percolate, and these moments when we just sit and let the camera zoom or pan after something poignant has happened, after something important has happened, it gives us time to process, and by extension, it makes us feel like the character is processing. We don't know what they're thinking, but when they do something different the next episode, we can tie it back and be like, oh, that's what the conclusions they came to. So we're interrupted from our reverie once more. Welcome back, party! You ever live in a town where you don't know anybody? Where you've just moved there? And you can walk down the street and see people going about their daily business, but they're not familiar to you. Nobody really pays you any attention except that you might be an odd factor. I can't imagine what it's like to leave a space feeling like that, feeling like you don't belong there, but that at the same time it's the only place for you, and to come back and have everyone know your name and be glad that you're here. What a change. A whistling, cheering crowd of weird people, weird people. But they're all here. They're all here to support Joe. Of all people. So they party deep into the night. I really really like what this scene and the later cop scene do for the tone. They're meaningless, right? Like, these scenes don't do anything for the episode, and yet they do. And yet they absolutely do. Suddenly somebody else is on the outside of things looking in while we're on the inside. And we're, like, allowed to be doing what we're doing. It's really interesting. And then there's the actual physical tone break. So, weird dance scene with a weird little flicker when he like, flick, weird. All sorts of people eating and drinking and cheering and laughing. Why does that guy look so familiar to me? A little squiggle head guy with the big glasses. Is he like a character from another show or something? I don't know. So we offer sake to Tange. He hesitates and then takes it. I wonder if that's going to come back to bite us. There's real, like, joy in him. But it scares me. Hey, where is Joe? Where is that jackass? And he's sitting over here, and with the way we've arranged the bar so it covers over his mouth, he's behind bars still. He's still in prison. He's not here. He can't enjoy this. He's not a part of it. He hasn't put that away. And so he gets up, watching everybody else celebrate. We haven't heard a line from Joe in a number of scenes. Gets up, walks out. Guest of honor goes up to the bridge, rests here, and is approached by Dompe. Dompe takes his place next to him on the bridge and tells him its story. This is the Bridge of Tears. People with nowhere else to go cross over this bridge crying to enter Shantytown. Really places it as though it's a hell. Truly as though it's like another plane of existence. It's not the same as over there. And it's an emotional barrier between the rest of the world and here, where people's dreams are shattered by life. And this bridge is the step that you take across that when you know that you're shattered and there's no coming back. All those sorts of people flow here with tears in their eyes. I was one of them, and you were supposed to be one of them, but Joe didn't cry as he walked across. At least not that we see. But now we're going to change things. We'll cross this bridge of tears with laughter. To take the first step toward tomorrow's splendor. Do you understand, Joe? Do you understand? Do you get it? It's like, yeah, sure, man. But, you're being a lot. Toward tomorrow, toward pro boxing, there will always be hard times and suffering. If you want to work toward this goal, there will be hard times and suffering. Guaranteed. There will be tears. Guaranteed. But they're very different than the tears that you shed in giving up, in walking away. The tears of the pain that you shed climbing the mountain, overcoming the obstacles, they don't hurt as much. You might have to shed even more tears, right? Like, you're choosing this path is not choosing the easy way. This is choosing active struggle. This is choosing pain and suffering. But, at least those tears will not be the tears of a loser. Not the tears of someone who has given up, who is ashamed, who's a failure. They'll be the tears of someone who's trying. They will be for the glory of fighting through harsh times towards the splendor. So the first steps toward tomorrow's splendor, and then the tears that we will shed for the glory of fighting through those harsh times to reach it. Brilliant, sweaty tears. Let's suffer. Let's grit our teeth. Let me see you grit those teeth, huh? And we'll go back the same way, the opposite direction. We'll reverse fate. Take it into our own hands, and by the weight of our blood, sweat, and tears and suffering, change the nature of reality. Reposition ourselves in the world. What a symbol. What a symbol, this bridge. So we look down from the heavens, across the waterway toward the city. It's beautiful. I love this sort of paint blot style. It feels like beautiful lights. So we just stand here. Joe doesn't really respond. See? Everyone is celebrating your rebirth. Aren't you ready to be reborn? Let's go back in. Okay. So he thinks it through in the opposite direction, huh? And looks back up to the sky. We re-enter the party, and pure joy and goofiness is happening. And Joe loses himself in it. He's not behind bars anymore. He's on the other side of the bars, yeah? With everybody else, laughing so hard he almost can't breathe. And we go straight from that emotion to the next one, to the sleeping and crying. As though suddenly, with this path laid out and with this possibility and with this welcome, Joe is free to feel for the first time and maybe ever. He laughs with the others. The cop goes by. And we return with everyone else asleep and Joe crying into his pillow. He says, this is the first time I've ever had trouble sleeping, but what is causing that? It feels very clever to me to not tell us. Is it being overwhelmed by the welcome? Is it having the ability to safely feel your emotions for the first time, like ever? To be vulnerable? I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is that Joe is feeling and thinking here. But it's a dramatic change for his character. A dramatic change for who he is. When we see the images in his mind, they're his friends smiling and laughing. The children, all these people. Why do I feel so uneasy? The first time it's ever happened to me. Well, you know what? I've got some ideas for why this might be. Joe's entire life, he's been the outcast, the unwelcome one. And he's built himself in many ways to like double down into that. Right? That's his defense mechanism for it, is to double down, be like, yeah, I am actually a piece of shit. Fuck y'all. Nobody likes me, and I'm in control of that. And I've made sure of it. He does it with the prisoners, with everybody. And then he ends up sleeping with only enemies around. Now he's surrounded by friends, and it's a deeply unfamiliar experience. Maybe it feels like everything's wrong. Maybe it feels like everything's wrong. You know, people do this in relationships, like romantic relationships. If you have one of the insecure attachment styles, it's not uncommon for people with insecure attachment styles, when they get into a situation where they start dating or relating to somebody who's much more secure in their attachments, who's like great partner, good at this stuff, there's something missing or broken or wrong. And the person with the insecure attachments isn't getting the trauma that they're used to. It's like a really strange way to frame it, but it's accurate. Like, if you grew up in a household with attachment relationships that were founded on distrust and fear, and you end up in a relationship that's actually very trusting, and you're not afraid of your partner, and you don't need to be, there's something missing there. There's something wrong. And very often people will go out and seek it. They'll try to create it, try to create distrust, try to create drama. And a lot of what's going on is a mismatch in attachment styles that leads the person to not be experiencing what they associate with normal, even though what they associate with normal has been like broken into them by trauma. So like a person with deeply avoidant parents who really weren't able to connect emotionally with them, they get into a connected relationship that's actually emotionally vibrant and connected and vulnerable, and it feels wrong. It feels like bad and strange. Or vice versa, parents who were like deeply oversharing and like really enmeshed emotionally and had blurred boundaries between the parent and the child's emotional states. Like, if I feel bad, you should be feeling bad too. um it's called enmeshment. But somebody who's like used to that and they end up in sort of a normal relationship with sort of clear boundaries where each person, the other person, is like their own independent person, they might feel a total disconnect. Like, we're not actually connected to each other. Like, you don't actually see me, you don't really hear me because you don't feel what I feel when I feel it. We're like not enmeshed, we're like not broken the right way. A huge amount of relational struggles and friendship struggles and other things is trying to find the the broken shards of glass that fit your scars, that feel like the right kind of bad, the right kind of broken. And so for Joe, for somebody who is on the like almost out of that ballpark, because what he has is no attachment relationships, only enmity for the most part, to suddenly experience this flood of care, of attachment, of connection, of people who really are genuinely there for you and care, it's enough that I think in another version of this episode, Joe has to run away. It's like, this is not the life that I was supposed to live. I'm not getting beat up by Yakuza. This is wrong. Where's my trauma, man? Like, where's the stuff that makes me feel alive? I think something along those lines of being a lone wolf who has built up a bunch of internal systems to cope with being alone, being a lone wolf. Defenses, teeth and claws and fangs, is suddenly welcomed into a pack and allowed to sleep with the group and is a part of things and to hunt as a team, and it's like wrong. It's uncomfortable. It's not what he's used to. Maybe it can sink in. Maybe it's beginning to. Maybe that's what this sleepless night of tears will do for Joe, is help him acclimate to being a part of society the way Nishi has, to being with other people. And from there into a competitive environment with rules and regulations and honor. And from there upward toward the splendor of tomorrow, yeah? If he's willing to take on the suffering, if he's willing to take on the tears of improvement, the pain of progress, then I think the sky's the limit for him and the road is an open one. We'll have to see how that plays out next time on Ashita no Joe. We're almost at 2 hours. I think I gotta call it. This was a lovely episode and a huge turn, a big shift in the way that everything in Joe feels and the way that the character seems to operate. I'm really curious to see how we move forward from here. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Joe with me. I hope to continue our journeys through it and to continue exploring what it means to grow and to suffer, to become. Joe's heart is still on fire, and gosh, there's a whole bunch more fuel to add to it. Okay, thanks so much for watching the episode. I'll see you next week for the next one. What an episode of Joe. I'm really rocked by this one. I think it's really great. Much love. Peace.